So this is, we're going live now, the live broadcast regarding the take back of Margaret Bass's home, and well, from the violent thugs, from the British police officers, alleged British police officers, and alleged bailiffs. Yeah,
from the British police officers, alleged British police officers.
Echo.
Echo. It's echoing.
Yeah, it's all right. I was still on.
Okay, you had another technology. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, the previous video that's been out there was when was it? What day? How long ago was it? 2 days, 3 days, 2 days.
2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
Yeah.
2 days ago, some people, not even dressed in any uniform this time, actually, in plain vans, so we couldn't even know what firm there was, and none of them, again, they all refused to identify themselves. None of them had even given notice that there was actually going to be attending, and that they just didn't. Well, they knocked on the door, said you're coming out in 15 minutes, and started drilling the doors. From what I gather, so they didn't even give you a chance to say anything. They just said they're here to do it, and they're doing it, and they're taking it. So that video is out. It's on YouTube. It's on all the multiple channels, and so yeah, I mean, from that position onwards, the result was at the end, which was they in turn, the police that turned up just vacated the room, never even brought back Margaret's documents that Margaret had given them. They just disappeared, and the bailiffs within, well, I'm saying again, the bailiffs, let me retract that, the people that weren't dressed in any uniform, in plain vans, that came around to do this, to steal the property again, vacated, leaving the keys to the new locks that they'd put in from the ones that they'd drilled out, and just gave Margaret the keys back and vacated, and never left any sign or anything. So from that position, here's where we are now, just to talk about it again. So I'll hand over to you, Anthony. I'll just shut this page down so it stops making that bleeping.
Hello, am I back?
Yes, you're
here.
Yeah. Disappeared for a minute. Yeah. Well, it's the most extraordinary thing I've ever seen. You know, they changed the lock. And then handed the keys back. So I've been speaking to a few people what the significance of this is. And this is the 4th time, Margaret, that they've evicted you or tried to evict you and stuff. So what I've been told is by them handing the keys back to you, they've surrendered the property to you. It's a whole new start legally. You know, there is an admission, it ticks all the boxes. They admit, you know, that they've done wrong. We know the old maxim of law, fraud unravels all. That means they've acted fraudulently, they admitted it, and they've surrendered back the property to you. That's what it seems to be the significance of it. But to have it captured live on social media is even more crazy. I have a feeling this is a landmark case that's gonna set a precedent and gonna inspire a whole lot of people to stand their ground. And on these illegal bailiffs, everyone is illegal. All the warrants are fake. It's 7 years in jail, including any police officer who is acting as an accessory. So the police, you ask the police, he said he might had a warrant, and you asked the police for a copy of the warrant, Margaret. Tell us what the police said.
Yeah, I said, I'd like to see the copy of the warrant. In the first case, I never get a letter that a bailiff is attending my property today. And in the second case, the bank sent me a letter yesterday saying that I should vacate the property 12th of November.
Right.
And,
or else, if you don't vacate on the 12th of November, then they have to start proceedings.
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
Not maybe.
Okay.
You understand? So then by the time, if you appeal and what, you're talking Christmas, you're talking 2022. But then the next morning, there 2 thugs are in your house who can't identify themselves. And in the blink of an eye, police comes to help them,
Yes.
saying they're keeping the peace. What they're
Yeah.
really doing, they're disturbing the peace. They're assisting in a crime and human rights abuse, you know, and the local authority is in it because they have no record of it. How many years now you complained to the local authority about this, Margaret?
Since 2018.
Yeah, and all you're
know.
saying is these people are threatening you with eviction.
Yeah.
And
they have no proof of that. They have no proof of that.
nothing. And the
Nothing.
police send you an email telling you it's the local authority's job to
Yeah.
investigate this. And
Yeah.
still they haven't got the warrant or nothing, done nothing.
No.
So,
No.
you know, we have these people acting as an organized gang. One person does violence against you and all the others have to do is withhold the service.
Yes.
From Paul Phillip on the SRA to Nick Adderley at the Northamptonshire Chief Constable.
Constable.
The court manager, I can't remember his name in Northampton.
Something.
Anyway, the court manager and the head of the Ministry of Justice, and all these people, they, you know, are withholding the service.
Yeah.
You know,
it's actually a little bit more they are doing.
Okay.
I mean, we're dealing with a lot of cases. Currently, I'm not in the UK, even in me being still there.
Can I
officially
introduce you quickly? This is Captain Carl Peter Hoffman. He's a phenomenal justice campaigner with no fear in his heart. He's not campaigning in the UK like us. This man is all over Europe. And you're talking from. Are you able to disclose where you are now?
I mean, my current location is Switzerland. I'm traveling a lot. Yeah, now I can tell that I am in Switzerland because the Austrian department that is equivalent to the Home Office, which we have an awful lot going on with, because my main work is now fighting pedophiles. We have half the Austrian governments on, and they tried about 5 weeks ago to kidnap me, to wipe me out, which was a pretty stupid move today. Sorry, it was a pretty stupid move because it would have made international of complication. They thought it would be going clean,
would have
but
the opposite effect. It would blow the whole thing
oh
up.
yes, and so they can know. They tracked me down there, so via the phone, so they know where I am anyway. But that's only on the side. About this Austrian case, we will talk in another possibly another broadcast, and there is crazy things going on. But back to what I wanted to say. So what they are doing, everyone, according to the international valid laws, which means the human rights laws, which are actually out of the Bible. That's the reason why every constitution in the world has in the name of God. So this is these human rights laws were leading to resolutions like the United Nations Resolution 53/144 and also the 217 and the 2200. And the problem they are facing on that, they are not only guilty of now aiding and abetting certain crimes, so they have been here thieves, and in due course, because it was handled already by different people, it is handling of stolen goods. That is what the law says.
Right.
So the next crime they have been committed is because they came without a piece of paper, which means they came without the security to claim, that they can take over the property, which makes it security fraud. So
the warrant, just clarify this a little bit. The warrant is actually a security instrument.
that's correct.
So if it's a fake warrant, it's a bigger crime than we were thinking is just forgery and counterfeiting, but you're saying now it's a little bit more bigger than that.
Yeah, and they were claiming to be in possession of a security they haven't been. That is a special kind of security fraud. But it goes actually further. They have been sending the so-called police. The police is not the police as we knew it when we were a little bit shorter and had an awful lot of less gray hair. Then it was police. The police has changed. That's the reason why it is written in capitals, not in correct spelling. And that means they are no more than masonries. That is, they are
masonries.
Andy,
you love that word.
They're actually masonries, and that is also defined by the United Nations. And because they are coming without the proper documentation, i.e. a warrant that says you have to leave the property, or this property is changing hands, or whatever it is written on that piece of paper on this security. So they are threatening you, and this is not only a threatening, is actually an act of terrorism. Valid laws, which means the act of terrorism comes in because the definition of terrorism is sorry, now I have to bring it from German into English. They creating fear in order to make you do something or perform something which is against your will. That is terrorism. So when some weird people run around threatening people with swords or guns or whatever, that is of course an act of terrorism, but this is not exclusively an act of terrorism. So now we have another thing. I must also say thank you to the United Nations. They are not our friends, but sometimes they could do good things. The fact that they are masonries and they are coming into your property, which is not their jurisdiction, because it's your jurisdiction, because it's your property, and it's your jurisdiction. And this means that it is an act of war, hence a war crime.
Whoa, it's amazing. Man, you got a crazy brain. I mean, you're gone from a fake warrant to an act of fear causing you to do something against your will, and basically they declared war on you. But if I attach something to that, a warrant means the Queen has declared war on you. So we come back to the same circle. That's why it's called a warrant. It's the only way someone can get you out of the house. The Queen declares war on you. That's why your video is called Queen of Scam, Margaret.
Okay.
Because only the Queen can declare war on someone in this country. So anyway, carry on, Peter. You know, I love the way you connect creating fear in order to force you to do something against your will. I love it. Believe me, I'm going to be using this a lot.
Well, there is more terrorists around than anyone think. So every bailiff that takes along a police officer is responsible for a a war crime and an act of terrorism.
Wow.
A belligerent.
That's powerful. Imagine this in front of a grand jury. You understand? With all the police, you know, Sergeant Paul Purdy and all the other pedo ones that been jailed for pedo. I'm sure you're going to talk about that a little bit, but I have nothing against these people. I wish they have a nice life, but straighten out your behavior and your conduct, and clean yourself out from the inside. That's all I'm saying. And give us back what you stole from us. Make the world a better place that you went in the service to do.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. So another point people do not regard, or they disregard it actually, is that they do not know what is the duty of the police officer. What has he given an oath for?
Wow.
This is one more.
Mm-hmm.
The police officer's duty is to solely protect human life. That's all he's got to do. What the police does in these days when they go out and try to disperse riots, etc. This is actually the army's work. Because the army is not there to go to Afghanistan or to Libya or to Iran or anywhere else to fight wars. That is not the army's job. Because as soon as you go out of your country for no lawful reason with your army, you're committing war crimes.
You're invading somebody. Yeah.
Exactly. That is why Tony Blair cannot go and say, I'm not a war criminal when he's called one. Yeah.
Well, he's been declared a war criminal in a few countries, isn't he? I believe.
Oh, yes.
Officially. Yeah.
Yes, he is. That's why he's not going there. And so now this situation, we have to go with that. So the police does the securing of the anything inside the border, and it does another job that it's not supposed to do. It is not a subcontractor of a bailiff. Cannot be. So they're creating another crime. So that is the situation. So that that also is applicable to anything when they try to vaccinate you, force vaccinate you, or keep you out of shops when you're not vaccinated or not wearing the mask or not, and all the things they push onto us. That is all war crime. And every shopkeeper who wants to keep it up, and every CEO of companies like the big supermarkets, I do not want to mention any names because this is not correct, but people know, whether supermarkets or other chains where people go in, and if they are bosses, they ought to know that they cannot do that. So same here in your case, the boss of the police has got to know that he is not allowed to attend a bailiff or help a bailiff in the way telling the people that they have got to go out. This can only be done by a true warrant. And this must be done by a judge who is actually a judge. And hence, that is in the least cases really applicable. There is no way for repossessions in the first place. And secondly, if they are coming with fake papers, then they need to be arrested immediately and brought before a judge for security fraud, which is a serious offense. Because if you're starting to copy pound notes, or whatever you call these colored pieces of paper in these days, then how long are you going to prison for that?
Mm, mm.
And if anyone,
and when you copy a warrant and steal a house,
yeah,
it's hundreds of grants.
it's hundreds of grants, and it is at least as hefty a crime as faking so-called notes. Because here it is another crime on top of it over the forging or counterfeiting notes. Yes, you do some damage, but taking someone's house is taking someone's livelihood, which is an additional crime.
Yeah, but it's Andy, you were asking them encouraging Margaret on the video to ask if the guy was under his oath. And what did he say?
He said yes.
No, before he said yes, he said he doesn't know what the oath is. Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say. This is why we've got, I mean, it's only they've got the people against the people, because the people that are working in those positions haven't got the knowledge, haven't got the capacity to think for themselves. They're just order followers. So they don't, they just do the job.
Andrew, I tend to disagree to that. They make it seem like this, but they do know. And we have been threatening them, not by violence, but by the law. And then all of a sudden they came out that they do know damn well. Yeah. So an awful lot they pretend, yeah, and they must know. Yeah, it's a must. Yeah, because they might have orders from the levels below above. Yeah, no doubt. However, they do know, and we have had this in Germany various times, that a number of court staff, they couldn't take their jobs anymore, and they came out with the truth. They tell you, we know there is certain laws not even existent. Yeah. We know it all, but we were forced to do this, and now we can't take it anymore. By the way, just want to tell you something that that you know about certain other things. Is a bit sidetracking, but it might explain it how far or how widely it is known.
Yeah.
We went on confrontation with quite a number of people in different countries, and also on the so-called COVID-19 regulations and orders and whatever they claim for our benefit and our health. It is actually BS. And we know that in Switzerland, doesn't exist a COVID-19 or similar regulation or order. So we know that because it needs to be authorized by someone who says, yes, I authorized this clearly. So that wasn't shown. And additionally, every order, every law must be insured, because if the law or the order creates damage, this is a question of liability. You can't even do your job without a public liability insurance. So now the biggest insurer in the world is Münchner Rück. They haven't got the assets, to stand up for it when the claims come in. So that regulation cannot exist. But so it wasn't enough for us, because the people say, oh, you say this, and you talk all the time about things that are unbelievable. Well, so we went to a meeting where we knew there is a parliamentarian of the Swiss so-called government. And we asked him plainly, is there a COVID-19 order or a regulation or whatever you call it in Switzerland. He came out with a plain no. He said no. And then he said, without us asking any further, and there is no pandemic either. And then I said, and it isn't a epidemic either. And he said, that's correct. So it's all lies.
Right.
And wherever they coming out, they're pretending to be the nicest people in the world. No, they aren't. And I make a statement now and I stand up for it because I am fighting the pedos. Every one of them up there on the higher levels claiming that we need to wear a mask, you need to get vaccinated, are the same rapists that rape children. We have proven that time and time again. And what they are doing out there, even the police officer who comes, he knows he is raping you. Yeah? And rape is not sexual rape. Sexual rape is only one aspect of rape. There's 5 different kinds of rape: the physical, the sexual, the spiritual, the mental, the emotional. And these people, they are specialists in emotional rape, that's the judges and the prosecutors, and in physical rape. And since they are working on 2 planes of rape, we have found that they are most likely rape on the other 3 as well, or at least one of the other 3. And that is what it is. Everything that's going out there has nothing got to do whether you are right or wrong in court. All that matters is how much they can make on you. And if we can stop that, then we won. And they pretend, oh, we are the authority. We are the ones who are in the know. You're the stupid people. You need to be guided and overseen.
You can't think for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we don't believe it, then they try to ram it into us with the Hollywood movies. We are too stupid because every Hollywood script of the action script is you're too stupid to deal with your own affairs. You have to wait for the hero that saves you.
Yeah.
And that is the whole world set up is like that. And you can go for it wherever they come and pretend they have got rights that they do not have the rights, because they cannot even tell you what the rights is they possess.
Well, this is the problem.
And that means at every single case, they are performing fraud. And for that, you have got a wonderful instrument. You remember that when we were in court and asked the lawyers around it, so made small talk with them and tried to get into conversation about the Fraud Act, why they don't use it. Before they were talking lightly and happily with this, and then they were all of a sudden backing off. We know today. We know today why they are backing off, because they know once we understand the very simple Fraud Act, we have got them at the throat, because we know that all of them be defrauding us.
The Fraud Act is so sweet and simple, so simple.
Yeah, it's a great instrument. I don't know who dared to give us such a great and simple instrument, but on the other hand, they tried to make it appear that it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
so
they're not. If they acted on the Fraud Act, there'll be we would have such a better society if they were enforcing the Fraud Act.
Yes. Yeah, and the police is in it, the prosecutors, the judges, the banks, the politicians, and other elements are in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it can't. This is how I'm phrasing. Oh,
I'm still here.
Oh, my sound went off for a little while. I'm trying.
We heard you.
Yeah. So here we go. Yeah. Are you hearing me?
We hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. So it's coming back to the case with Margaret now. the police officers left quietly. They didn't say we're going or we finish what we're doing, or they didn't bring closure. They just quietly left. And then the bailiffs left the house.
Never even said goodbye or thank you. Yes, she was right.
Nothing.
You know, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And then the bailiffs quietly came out of the house. They were in the garden wheeling her bin around in the grass. I don't know what they were they doing, Margaret? Have you found out?
Yeah, well, I just noticed that after they changed the locks, they gave it to some of their gang to go and call the key. So they were waiting for that key to come.
They were waiting. So they gave you back the okay. So then after a while, the bailiffs were outside, and after a while they came and threw the key back in the living room. And
yeah,
me,
the spare keys.
You know, today's video and conversation is on that. I believe you've been given back lawful possession of your property, and they've admitted on camera and surrendered that they don't have a lawful right and claim to your property, and they've committed fraud. That's how I'm interpreting it. What would you say to that, Andy?
Just got it later.
This was always our issue, wasn't it? Getting them to stop is one thing, and getting them to admit it, but they won't admit it. But that is what they've done. They've admitted it in their way, where they don't have to. They still aren't claiming, claiming responsibility. And this is the thing. They just say, okay, then we made a mistake. And that's just it, but nothing about the damages. I mean, they would claim, oh, we repaired the damages because we gave you new locks, we gave you it. But what about the mental torture? What about the rape is what we're saying?
Yeah,
basically what it is.
Yeah, all that is there, and it's over 3 years now. But this is the thing, yeah. Putting all that aside, I'm still stuck. They've taken possession when they changed the lock, or when they gave you the keys back. They lawfully and legally returned possession to Margaret. That's how I'm looking. That's what it is. So carry on, Peter.
Yeah, there is another aspect that, or another, road that or path we could follow now. Since they have been attending there. Yeah, I just need to explain a little bit, perhaps. What happens if I come to your home, and draw the gun on you and say I'm going to murder you, and then I put the gun away? I still will go to court. I will be arrested.
Yeah.
And if your friends are there, and they are not doing anything about to bring me to court, they will be charged with aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
So here we have actually, there must be a reference number, a call-out reference number.
Well, this is the joke, Peter. You know a lot about the control room, and I'm glad you brought it up. The previous time they came, Margaret called the police. They didn't come, but police were there, but not on her. So we called 101 after the event. Who called the police? What time was the call made? And what was the crime reported? What did they say, Margaret?
They said they can't give me any information.
They can't provide the information. And they gave her, so basically the police were not officially there. They're not there officially, and they're not there in their capacity as a police constable.
Yeah, however, they came, how did they come?
You mean they came in transport? I don't know. We don't know.
Did they walk? Did they came by bicycle or by
I think they
car?
came in police cars.
Yeah, they came in police car.
Or what looks like police cars.
Have you got from any car the number, the license plate?
No.
No.
Only the van, only the plain van.
No. Peter is talking about the police car.
Yeah, not the police.
Because the police car number plates are regulated and
Yeah, you know what?
The number
Okay.
on the top of the car. Was there a number? Did you get a number? Did you get any film footage of the police car? Because there'll be a number on the top.
No, because it's behind the fence. The car was behind the fence.
Yeah, the car was, yeah, I tried to capture it, but I couldn't.
So Peter, tell us. They come there. They're not officially on any record, and nobody came on Margaret's call. This is very important. Peter, I'll tell you something in the mix quickly. The previous eviction, so this is eviction number 4. Margaret called, and we got this on the video. It's on the audio, on the video. Call 999. They already broke the lock on her door. Yeah. The police said, we are not coming out. It's in black and white. We are not coming out. And on this occasion, they eventually ran off. Yeah. They ran off. What do you say? You call 999. Someone broke your door, physically broke the lock, and the police don't come out. What is all this?
This is premeditated crime. But let me finish the thought, or finish what I wanted to say. Where we could create a big stir is several police cars came.
Yeah.
So the police cars came obviously out of a police station, as well. This was no private cars.
Yeah.
Unless someone is faking police cars or pretending to own a police car. You know, I had in the early 2000s quite a while to do with vehicles of Metropolitan Police and Scotland Yard. You have got for each journey a record to put into a log. You have to tell the time of driving from to, then we're on the way back from to, the mileage, where you go. And if they are coming out with a police car and not putting the records down in it, or logging it on in their logbook, then they are committing an offense within the forces. And we can say then, when they have got no reference number, but use the car, that they are trying to, they try to conceal a crime. And this within the police force, I think that doesn't go down very well.
Yeah.
So if we can work on it and force them to lay open all the books of that time, then because the police force that attended there is a fairly small police force. This is not coming out. If it is Bristol, it's not coming out of Brighton, because they are starting with BR, so it is local. So that could be, and on the time it could be pretty quickly narrowed down to who it was, why the the reference number is not there. And since there were police cars in use, even if you have only a part of the police car there must be a lock on there. And if there isn't a lock, then there is a discrepancy in the mileage.
Yeah.
So as we all know, the perfect crime is not possible, but these are now steps we can go to create an awful lot of headache for them. And once they have got headache, they make mistakes. And on these mistakes, we can find them, or possibly push them even to make more mistakes, and they will reveal themselves.
They're making all the mistakes from day one, because Peter, on this particular case, we have in writing from the alleged bank. They have no record of any debt. We have in writing from the court. We have no record how this claim was made, case management. We don't have any record of a court case in the system. So we have all this in black and white. They gave us by mistake, they gave us when we pressure for the warrant on the previous occasion, they gave us an N49 document that is not a court document. It's downloaded off Westlaw with a court seal built in. Anybody can download it. Now it is not, N49 is not in, it's not even a copy of a court document. It's N49 is just not a court document at all. So if you see a document with N49, immediately it's a counterfeit, like what you were saying. What's the word you use? The instrument, they defrauding an instrument, or whatever it is. So we send this to the police. The police come back and said, "Where did you get it?" Because they know it's not a court document, but it's that all these bloody lawyers that people are paying tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands to are not asking these questions. Why are you paying your lawyer and he is not investigating your case? You know, you should demand your money back, demand their insurance. But this is the thing. There is the CPS, Paul Philip, the chief of the CPS, investigated the fake warrant and said he has found no wrongdoing.
Then this is another concealing a crime. He can only say he has found no wrong in it or on it if he didn't look at it. Yeah, just a very, very well-known thing. And when I think it was people from the press were questioning the report of the Twin Towers, and they were asking, have you had found any residues of explosives? Because nothing about was in the report.
Yeah.
And they said no. Then they were asking the next questions. Have you been searching for them? No. Then the question was why? Because nobody told us to do so.
Aye.
Yeah, one of the things they're working on, and I'll give you another example that you understand how you have to deal with these guys. Someone in Switzerland went to the highest court recently, claiming that the COVID-19 regulation is a human rights violation. The highest court in the country closed the case. Yeah. Without any results, and say we cannot make an assessment on that. So the people said, oh, that's unlawful, that's fraud, that's blah blah blah. No, it's not. What it was is the wrong question was asked.
Yeah.
They cannot ask about the COVID-19 regulation to be assessed whether there is a human rights violation or not when it doesn't even exist. and the second thing is, we had yesterday started proceedings against Liechtenstein, where they are enforcing now a COVID certificate. Yeah. However, the fraud is in it, and none of the people I spoke to have seen it before. There is nowhere mentioned the human being in that paper.
Wow.
It's only several times mentioned the person, and the person is a subject. It's not the human. It's your birth certificate is the person. So if the birth certificate has to show a vaccination certificate, then fine. Let them bring it on. Yeah.
It's illegal. So a lot of people don't understand the concept. If you don't understand it, you're not familiar with it, please do yourself a favor, Google legal fiction, and after about 6 months, 9 months, you will get it. that they have two of you, one the flesh and blood and one the paperwork, your birth
Yeah.
certificate, credit cards. It refers to the person, which is not you, but they don't tell you, they don't teach it in school. You have to go to the YouTube University and educate yourself on that. Can we bring an end to this? We have to do another one. Peter, we're gonna do another one about the pedosexual. Don't talk about it now. You got probably the best knowledge and experience in the world on this subject, and we're finding more connection. But the main issue here is Margaret.
Yes,
We got them on video handing your keys back after taking possession. And all I'm saying, as far as I can see, if anybody has any ideas or knowledge, you got back possession of your property legally and lawfully, and they have, in doing so, they admitted that whatever they did was wrong, incorrect, unlawful, and you are now in lawful possession of your property. That's my understanding. What would you say, Andy?
I would agree with that, but at the same time, we have to be.
We know they're not working by the law.
They don't bend over, do they?
But that's why we're doing these programs and waking up. How many people are going to be inspired by this action, Margaret? Whatever the outcome, you are inspiring many people in the world. And you know, we're going to nominate you for Woman of the Year. You've taken on the bailiffs 4 times and 1 so far, and they've handed the keys back now. Whatever the outcome from here, this is documented, it's on the record. So maybe we can close on that. Thank you very much, Captain Carl Peter Hoffman from Switzerland, Andy from somewhere in Europe, Margaret from your lovely home in Northampton.
Yeah.
So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Cheers.
And I hope we continue on that subject as well, because there is some interesting things we can do to bring.
We're gonna do one specific on that, because I've been doing a little research, other people, and some real cases have come up very interesting. So
yep.
Have a nice weekend, everybody. God bless.
Same to you.
Thank you very much.
Speak soon.
Go then.
Bye.
See you.
God bless everybody. Thanks everybody for sharing, by the way. Please get it out far and wide.
Thank
There
everybody.
will be more of this to come. There will be more of this. I'm just explaining this to the viewers at the moment. So please get this far out. There will be a lot more of this coming, especially on the pedo side of the things, because I mean, I've got a lot to say on that too. So
but we're looking for the specific connection. We're not making false statements, real life situations. But thanks, you guys.
it's
God
the
bless.
bond. It's the bond that glues them all together. From
Yeah,
my
yeah. The fake court orders.
That-
Yeah. All right.
That's the key.
Thank you.
That's the key. Bye bye now.
Bye.
Bye for now.